Welcome back to Press Review. Let's start by taking a look at today's front pages in the Middle East. UAE's Gulf News leads reporting that Emiratis will no longer need a visa for short trips to any of the Schengen countries after the European Parliament voted for the exemption in Strasbourg yesterday. It also reports that at least 12 people, mostly Asian and Arab customers, were killed and more than 30 injured when a gas cylinder on the roof of a restaurant exploded in Qatar's capital, Doha. Saudi's Arab News reports that Saudi Arabia and India sought to further deepen strategic diplomatic and business relations as Crown Prince Salman, Deputy Minister and Minister of Defence, met India's Prime Minister and President. It also reports on the gas explosion in Qatari capital Doha, which killed 12 people. Lebanon's Daily Star reports that activists have said that the jihadist Islamic State of Iraq and Greater Syria has begun withdrawing from parts of northern Syria ahead of a deadline set by a rival group. It also reports that the Ukraine's acting president has signed a decree dismissing the head of the Armed Forces General Staff, and that at least 24 people have been killed after Yemeni troops and allied Islamists engaged in heavy fighting with Shiite rebels in the north of Yemen. Egypt Independent reports that Cairo Criminal Court has postponed the trial of Safwat al-Sharif and his two sons to 30th of April. Al-Sharif, the Mubarak-era Shura Council Speaker, and his two sons are on trial over illegal gains charges and abuse of office. It also reports that Israeli forces opened fire and killed a Palestinian they were seeking to arrest in the occupied West Bank after the man had barricaded himself inside his house. Israel's Jerusalem Post reports on former Prime Minister Ehud Olmert saying that the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas agreed to a Jewish Israeli serving as mayor of an umbrella municipality. It also reports on John Kerry saying that before going to war with Iran over its nuclear program, US President Barack Obama has an obligation as a matter of leadership to pursue a peaceful solution to the crisis. From Turkey, the Hurriyet Daily News reports that Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan has hit back against unprecedented accusations of corruption after the leak of incriminating phone conversations, accusing both prosecutors and police involved in wiretapping of spying for another country. It also reports that negotiators from Turkish and Greek Cyprus staged respective visits to the other's guarantor countries yesterday in a historic step to give impetus to the latest gambit to solve the Mediterranean islands division. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines from UK papers. The Guardian leads its Middle East section with Egypt reporting that Egypt's military leaders have come under ridicule after the chief army engineer unveiled what he described as a miraculous set of devices that detect and cure AIDS, hepatitis and other viruses. The paper says the claim, dismissed by experts and called shocking to scientists by the president's science advisor, strikes a blow to the army's carefully managed image as the saviour of the nation. The Telegraph's Middle East section leads reporting that at least 52 people have died after a motorcycle rigged with explosives detonated in Baghdad's Sadr city, and militants targeted mostly Shiite neighbourhoods around the country, adding that it was not clear who was responsible for the attack. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East stories in international papers. The International New York Times leads its Middle East section reporting that a Palestinian man was found dead in his home in the West Bank town of Bir Zait after a standoff with Israeli forces that had come to arrest him, as Amnesty International published a report on accusing Israeli forces of being trigger-happy and using excessive force in the West Bank. The Times of India reports that thousands trapped in Syria's Yarmouk camp are slowly dying as the UN releases shocking images of refugees this week. The article says that the camp's population has shrunk from more than 150,000 to 40,000. China Daily leads its Middle East section reporting on Syria, saying that according to a UN report, there were 2 attempted attacks on Syrian convoys transporting chemical weapons late last month. Syrian authorities told the international mission overseeing the removal and destruction of its toxic arsenal. And for more updates, please visit Levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again on Monday. Bye for now.